it's awful losing the chess, isn't it? And I think if you are not careful, it gets increasingly worse the more energy you put into chess. The more you're trying to get better, the more you're trying to improve your game. You just don't want to lose. You just don't want to lose a game. You just don't want to lose rating points. And but the reality is that you lose a lot of games. And okay, if you are Magnus or if you are any other super GM, fine, you will lose not many games and win most of them. But for everyone else, the reality, you lose so many games. In my case, I've checked earlier actually, and I have 1,400 player in chess.com. I'm losing just under 50% of the games, and so, think about it. I'm putting more energy into chess, though. If I get upset 50% of the time, and only other 50% of the time when I win, I am happy, then something is wrong, right? Or I have either picked up the wrong thing to do in my life, because I don't want to get 50% upset in anything I do in life, or I just need to change my mindset. And I think that is where hopefully this video is helpful. It's not it's not the ultimate thinking process, but it's mine, and I hope it helps you as well. So I'm going to give you two tips, practical tips, and another two watch outs basically. And so the first one is about the focus. Where are you focusing on? And I'm going to give you an analogy, right? Think about rain and the process of how rain happens, right? So the rain starts with the sun hits up the water starts to evaporate, and then over time it condensates in the clouds, and then when the drops get too big, then it drops and it starts to rain, and that's how the whole process starts, right? So imagine that the only thing on that process that you can influence by a skill is the evaporation process, right? Imagine that there is a skill that you can develop, and you can get better at evaporating water, right? But at the same time, imagine that you really want it to rain, and so you look out the window every day to see if it rains. When it rains, you're super happy. When it doesn't rain, you get upset. But that part of the process is not under your control, right? And so that analogy, if you put it into chess, is the same, right? So you go to a game, you know the strength of your opponent. If you win, you get you're happy. If you lose, you get upset. But actually, instead of that, if you focus on actually learning, is the same as the rain, right? So as long as you are focused on evaporating water, you don't know when it's going to rain. It will rain tomorrow, it will rain a week, but if you get better and you evaporate more and more water, it's undeniable, it's going to rain. So it's the same with chess. If you get better, and if you get increasingly better over time, you might not win tomorrow, you might not win next week, but you will end up winning a lot. And that's how it happens. So because another concept in there is about the rating, your rating. The rating is a funny one. I think it's a perfect system for what it is, which is just making sure that every match you play is an exciting one, because it will match you up with someone of your strength, so it's not either too low or too high, and you get a fair match. So it shouldn't be for us to focus to put goals in there. Your goals shouldn't be getting a higher rating. Your goals should be getting better at chess, and that over time will translate into better rating and winning games. The other recommendation that I want to make is about really be careful if you have one of those, which I think many of us do, beating yourself up. And so I'm going to ask you in the next few games that you're going to play in the next week or so, focus on actually, when you go into the game, trying to identify those moments where you beat yourself up. And most common moments are going to be, not when you made a mistake you don't know, but when you realize you made a massive mistake, it's a blunder, or one of those mistakes where you beat yourself up, right? And you see online, you see many rages videos with from GAs getting super angry when they make a mistake. I think you should be doing absolutely the opposite, right? You identify you've done a blunder, fine. It's part of the process. It's not the first one, and it's certainly not the last one. And everyone does mistakes at my level, GM. So what is the point of beating yourself up? You always didn't want to make that mistake. So life goes on, and you keep playing, thinking about the best move that you can make in the in the game. And the other one is about losing just the entire game. So just get familiar and make friends with the screen and then leeches on chess.com, wherever you play, that says your opponent has won. Don't get upset when you see that. It's fine. Again, it's part of the process, right? And so your goal should be about enjoying chess, right? And you enjoy chess when you win, and try to learn, review the game. And if you lose, enjoy it as well, and review it even more, and just make sure you learn, right? So it's a learning process, and that's part of the learning process, part of the process. And just make sure you are aware that you're going to lose so many games, and if you want to get better, you'll have to lose so many more. So take that into account. And so I think with those two things, what's going to happen is you're going to put less pressure into the games, which will make you improve your performance in the short term, but also in the long term. Because if you are focusing on your time on actually learning and making sure that you take every opportunity to learn, that's how you improve, not by your mood going up and down when you lose or win, any of your games. So yeah, that's my recommendation. Now, the two watch outs that I want to talk about the first one is about building arbitrary expectation, right? So I said that, I want you to focus on learning, but just be careful of these couple of things. First one, building expectations, right? So you might be thinking, okay, I'm going to focus on learning, and I'm going to be learning all the things that I need to know. So next week I'm going to be trying to learn this opening, this endgame, and so over the next week or two or a month or whatever, this is all I'm going to learn, right? That is good, but the problem is when you attach to that an expectation, which is, okay, because I've learned all of this, once I learn all of this, I think I should be beating everyone at my level. I'm going to go 100 points up or something, right? You might do that unconscious, but you pay attention to that, because it's this formula of expectations. If expectations are bigger than reality, you're going to get very frustrated and disappointed, right? So try not to build expectations that are unrealistic. And actually, just don't build expectations about winning. Just build expectations about feeling well, about knowing that you are learning, and you will win over time. Don't worry about that. The second one is more related to when you are in a losing streak. When you're in a losing streak, again, I tell you to focus on learning, but do not say, okay, I'm going to focus on learning, and actually I'm going to build a training plan to get my rating points back. No. Again, focus on learning. Don't necessarily relate that back to how you're going to gain your rating points back, because just feel comfortable where you are. You've lost 50, 100, 200 point rating points. Don't be upset about thinking, oh my god, at my best performance I was here and I'm here. How do I gain those points? That's fine. That's your current performance. It doesn't define you as a person or anything like that. Just be comfortable. Over time you will improve it, but just don't really put so much effort and energy into that. Again, go into learning and learning for the sake of enjoying the learning process. So yeah, those are my my practical tips. I think that helping me. Hopefully it helps you as well. And yeah, that's all for today, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and catch you in the next one. Thank you.